To me, International Women's Day means celebrating equity and embracing inclusion and diversity. And it's a good opportunity for us to recognize the phenomenal women who inspire us on a day to day.
And I think it's really important that we have a conversation every year that is focused on power, inequality, rights, pay, access to healthcare, and so on.
And I have noticed you've got the most wonderful quote on your website, International Women's Day website, which says, "No need to sparkle, no need to rush, and no need to be anybody else but yourself," which I really, really like because it speaks to the uniqueness of women.
International Women's Day, it's a really exciting time of year. It makes me think about reflecting on the sisterhood, where we've been, but also all the work we've still got to do.
So for me, International Women's Day is all about just taking a pause out of our busy working lives just to recognize where we are, say thank you to the women who have come before us, and take time to then inspire women of the future.
I believe it's an opportunity to celebrate, to kind of learn from each other, reflect, and particularly it's a call for action.
It's about reflecting on how much work we still have to do more than 100 years after the first Women's Day.
It's an opportunity to shine a light on the gender inequalities in the labour market in particular, and the kind of ongoing lack of pay equality and career advancement opportunities that are available for women.
To me, International Women's Day is about celebrating all of the incredible women that we have, but it's also about asking about what more we can do to help support and encourage more women into science.
The advice I'd give to young women and girls today is to believe in themselves and to be confident about their own capabilities and not to be scared to fail or a failure, because I think it's really important to learn from your mistakes.
If I were to offer some advice, it would be to bring their whole selves to the table and not only the bits that they feel are palatable in a male-dominated environment.
So what I'd say is actually create networks, seek out mentors who match your values. And if there aren't any networks, make them. So my daughter's part of the Girls Who Graduate network. I'm part of the Senior Women of Colour in Higher Education network.
For me personally, I realised that when I started a family and juggling being a parent and having a job, let alone trying to build a career with that job, was always challenging. The guilt of balancing those family commitments and feeling that you're not doing either one well enough. Success isn't kind of an end goal, it's something that looks different at different points in our lives.
Believe in yourself, know that you can do it, don't give up, and find good people around you to support you on your way.
Surround yourself with people who can support and bolster you. Find a mentor who can help you to shape your goals and plan towards them. Don't allow others to undermine your self-belief. Understand your history, our history, the history of the women's movement, how far we've come and how far we still have to go.
So the advice I would give to young women today is to be resilient, patient, and kind. Not everything will go according to plan. Make sure you learn from your mistakes because they'll make you stronger as well.
Don't be afraid to fail. If you've never failed, it probably means you've never tried. And I think universities are the best settings to learn new things and give new things a go.
But I worry that today that you can't ever get away. You go home and you're on your phone the whole time, and these tremendously pressurizing images coming through. I think many young women and girls handled it incredibly well, and they understand what's going on in terms of the idealization and so on. But my advice would be try not to look at the awful stuff so often.
It's really simple. Surround yourself by good people, nice people, people that want you to do well, people that want to see you thrive. Anyone in your life that doesn't contribute that, maybe they shouldn't be in your life.
I think that girls and young women are often socialized to sort of constantly monitor how they look, how they behave, and how they appear to others. And I think that it's important to recognize that there are so many unique paths to success, and that it's all about recognizing what the right way is to go for you and to believe in yourself.
Belief begins with self-belief, I think. And if you don't have self-belief, it's very hard then to set yourself targets and ambitions and aspirations that are lofty and that are enjoyable and that can be fulfilled. So
not to worry too much and just keep going with life.
Follow your interests and dreams and really discover and harness your own superpowers, whatever they might be. I think we've all got them and we're all unique, and we bring that uniqueness to different spaces.
The things in my life that has really supported and helped me is to have a routine. And I know that sounds really, really boring. Sometimes in your day, you'll find that there's elements of your time that are wasted and that you never actually use. I've written a couple of books, and when I was writing those books and working full time, I used to use that time, 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock and 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock.
So I've been inspired in my career by a woman resistor in the French resistance, Edith Thomas, who was an extraordinary literary scholar, but also a resistor and somebody who stood up against oppression. In fact, my daughter is called Edith in tribute to that wonderful woman.
The person that inspires me the most in my life is actually my son. He's about to turn 2, and I think the reason he inspires me the most is because he's reminded me never to lose your childlike wonder. So always have a curiosity for imagination and an interest in the world around you and the people around you.
It's Malala Yousafzai, who extraordinary young woman, you know, who put her life on the line in Pakistan to gain her education, and I think her story has inspired respect throughout the world.
Women who have identified their values, and you can see that they're living true to them in the behaviours that they display and the choices they make. And I think women who are in leadership positions who really advocate for others and share their power, I think that's so important, and I really respect that.
I'm completely inspired by all the researchers and the ability they have to work with their colleagues and find breakthroughs, both in science and across all the different disciplines, and to make a difference and to actually impact the community and people's lives. And I'm totally sort of in awe of everybody who has the capability of doing that.
A woman called Mary Dawson, who set up a teacher training college in what's now become my university in 1946. And when she started that piece of work, the building had no electricity, no running water, no transport. And she brought a group of entirely female students in to teach them how to be teachers. And right through from 1946 to 1968, she taught women to teach in the southwest of England. And by the end of that period, there was no school in the peninsula or in the west of England that didn't have one of her students in it.
So I am constantly inspired by my students. I learn loads from them, and I hope that they can learn a lot from me as well.
I had a wonderful boss in my previous role, and she really supported me to develop my career. And she, in particular, she taught me that often your own success is as much about helping those around you to do well. And that's been an important lesson for me that I've taken forward now that I'm managing my own team.
My mum, first of all, she's been the most amazing role model in terms of her career, but also wife and mum. But also lots of men in my life inspire me and have enabled me to be as successful as I have been. My dad, my husband, my son.
People who inspire me would include some inspirational leaders that I've worked with over the course of my career. So that would include Lynn Brindley, who was the first woman to lead the British Library. But I'd also want to pay tribute to my mum, who has always encouraged me to achieve my potential.
If I started my career again, I'd probably be a bit more confident that my opinion counts and that what I say has meaning.
I think going back to the previous answer, I would care less and take as many opportunities as I possibly can.
I feel like I wouldn't have done anything differently because I feel like the choices that I made make me who I am right now. And I feel that during those situations, it was the right thing for me to do.
So if I were talking to my younger self, I would advise her to flex, be creative, don't be worried about change, and to keep on pushing and to keep that drive going because it served her well.
The answer is actually nothing, because I'm really proud of what I've achieved so far in my time in working in the higher education industry, and actually it's made me who I am today. So every step that I've taken to get to where I am today has been really beneficial.
I think being a little bit more courageous, a little bit more prepared to challenge the status quo earlier.
So my current role was never in my plan. So I think I would think about a broader awareness that you don't have to follow a set path.
It's in short, try not to worry so much. Things will work out, not immediately, not right away, but if you keep plugging away and you know why you're doing what you're doing and you value what you're doing, things on the whole will work out.
I think one of the things when I was very young, I was quite shy and I didn't actually believe in myself. And I think over the years, I've learned to be more confident, learned to be more determined and resilient.
Yeah, okay, so when starting my career, I wish I'd recognised my kind of uniqueness and my abilities, because I have lots of ideas and it's fine to have lots of ideas and I don't have to be focused in the ways that other people are, and I don't have to speak a certain kind of corporate language, which there's plenty of that around. And I wish I'd learned that when I was younger. I wish I'd valued myself more, and I would suggest that value yourself, whatever you are, whatever you're good at.
Everybody else is on a similar level and nobody knows it all. Like, we all are very similar and can achieve things on the same level.
I think I'd also recognise that it's about working with people and taking people with you. And I think in terms of leadership, for me in my role, it's when you reach certain roles, it's actually about allowing others to shine in your team. And for me, it's about shining a light on, their activities, experience and careers.
People skills can't be underestimated. I think, getting to actually know somebody and your colleagues on a human level is really important. And I don't think anyone would ever say that they wish they'd worked more when they get to be an older person. So I would say establish that strong work-life balance as early as you can.
One of the things that I really wish that I'd known was how many allies I would find, often in the most unexpected and unlikely places, and amongst both men and women.
I would look at posts, think, oh, that's a really lovely role. I'd love to do that, but I don't meet all the criteria, and I would almost talk myself out of it. But now I know you just have to, if it's a role for you, and you think you've got the skills, knowledge, and capacity, you should go for it, and you don't be put off by kind of not ticking all the boxes, so to speak.
Not everything goes according to plan, but that's okay. Because sometimes we need to experience mistakes, errors in order for us to have a better outlook in life. And I think that would make us who we are right now.
I really wish I'd known at the start of my career that compassion isn't a sign of weakness, that compassion and kindness can be understood and accepted as valuable strengths.
I wish I'd known to be a bit more confident and a bit happier contributing to conversations, even when it can be really, really difficult.
I think education can provide a great structure, but careers are not so straightforward, and sometimes you'll make sideways moves or not know what the next step is, and that's okay.
There's a lot of jealousy in any professional environment, and that some people, and these are the people you should definitely mix with, have understood that whether it's academia or sport or education or politics, it's not a zero-sum game. There are not kind of limited resources in terms of success.
In all truth, it would be that learning to lead has been informed for me as much by parenting as it has by earlier examples of leadership. I'd like to have known that the things that felt like a career distraction for a while were actually building capacity and capability that would help me later on.
In many ways, things I wish I'd known before when I started was that anything's possible. Even though sometimes it's hard work and quite wearing, it's typically worth it in the end.